Starting pay-earn protocol, improving carts. Charging batteries. Loading. Complete.
World Series E-Sprint here in 2025. We have grand finals in front of us. 7 best races of this day, 7 best races of those 2 days, and we will crown the new Saudi World Series E-Sprint champion this evening. And the champion will be decided combining the results of both days together. Now we are setting ready for final of Group G. There we will see Fawzi Hardy from P10 and Jamil Issa from P9, Rafael Bro from P8, 7th starting Patrick Prahoinig, 6th on the grid Mirko Pascaletti, 5th for Marko Miskic, Natalia Astalosova starting 4th, top 3 for Tani Bodia. Second on the grid is Ayrton Comi and Enrico Camarata getting pole position on this final race of the day. Now the different groups, the drivers sorted to groups for the finals according to both heats of this day combined. So we will see the absolutely fastest drivers in the last final fighting for the top steps on the podium in a Group A. There will be Sarniela, there will be Vanderbeek, Mrotsko, Karhunen, Porta, Tornquist and everyone else. 14 best drivers we will see at the end of this finals, but now we are starting with the Group G, and safety car is on track already. We have 15 minutes for each final. After yesterday's races, it was Baptiste Vanderbeek who took the most points and also the win in the final with 157. He is leading still, but was leading yesterday the overall standings and also took the win in final. 12 points less got Patrick Porta yesterday and standing in second step on the podium. Axel Sarniel and Max Karhunen ended the day yesterday with 136 points each. Now, this day morning, Axel Sarniel took extra points for winning qualifying with absolutely fantastic lap times. And now is moving in front of Karhunen, but they are still fighting for steps on the podium overall. In a top 10 after day 1 were Jan Flambard, Alex Mrotsko, Enzo Geniage, Andres Leipnieks, Clement Esposito and Emric Tornquist. So that was the top 10 after first day of racing here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals, but today we will get new winners in all finals and we will see how the situation will stand in the points, combining both days together, and then we will crown this year's champion in electric sprint here in Saudi World Series. And also tonight we will know which venue will host the next year's electric sprint finals. Now it's Group G on the track, getting ready for their final. It's Camarata and Ayrton Comi starting first and second. Tani Boria third and fourth is Natalia Astalosova. Fifth is Marko Miskic. Sixth Mirko Pasqualetti. Seventh Patrick Prahoinig. Eighth is Thibaut Bro. The safety car is going in the pit lane and we start racing again. The finals have started and we are racing seriously now. The most important races of this day, the decisive races through the 2 days of finals here. Enrico Camarata holds the lead, but Ayrton Comi is right behind him and trying to get in front. There is also Tani Boria fighting in third now. Natalia Astalosova, Marko Miskic and Mirko Pascaletti. We have a podium for a final, but here in G and all other finals, only the winner gets the prize. So there is no podium for here for 3 best drivers. Here prize goes only to the winner, and Enrico Camarata is on his way to win this race, now leading after the first lap by 0.5 seconds, setting the best times in second and third sector, but now they are improving already on their second lap in the race. 14 minutes to go, a long way in front. A long way to go for those drivers in a G final. With each final, we will see a faster and faster drivers on the track, and the 14 best drivers will be on the track in Final A at the end of the day, and then we will fight for top steps on the podium and fight for an E-Sprint champion. 0.5 between Camerata and Comi. Both Italians at the front, chased by Tani Boria from Switzerland, then Natalia Astelosova, Marko Miskic, Mirko Pasqualetti, Patrick Prachojnik, Rafael Bro, Jamil Issa and Herdi Fozi. And going inside, fighting there for the places at the end of top 10. Left on the outside is number 16 of Natalia Astelosova. There comes Marko Miskic trying to overtake her. Mirko Pasqualetti is right behind with number 9. The fight is on, starting the third lap of this race. Enrico Camarata still leading. Ayrton Comi is second. Natalia Astelosova just lost 2 places. Marko Miskic got by. Mirko Pasqualetti also up to P5, and Natalia Astelosova now is running 6th in front of Patrick Prachojnik, Rafael Bro, Jamil Issa and Herdi Fozi. The race is still on. That's number 30 of Patrick Prachojnik. In front of Prachojnik, Natalia Astelosova. Prachojnik is thinking, maybe I can get this position too. Astelosova just lost 2 places on the previous lap. Prachojnik is chasing her by only half a second behind, only 0.4 actually. But 3 leaders are pulling away. It's Camarata, it's Comi and it's Boria now in front, and with 1.6 seconds further back is Marko Miskic in P4, then Pasqualetti, Astelosova and Prachojnik. Then drivers in a G final now fighting for their places on the track. Almost for first 4 minutes already spent racing. We have still 11 to go. There is a long race in the finals. There are 15 minutes to race. There were 10 in qualifying. There were 12 in both heats, and now we have 15 minutes race. Still only one overtaking from Marko Miskic and Mirko Pasqualetti, getting in front of Natalia Astelosova. Everyone else containing their starting positions in this final. And there is a crash under the bridge! Who lost positions? 3 cars side by side going up. It's Ayrton Comi. Just a few seconds ago he was second. Now he is fighting further back and almost pushed out of the track. Here comes Rafael Bro in number 4, getting in front of Jamil Issa. But now Ayrton Comi, it seems, has lost everything and is far, far back behind. Mirko Pasqualetti now goes in front, followed by Tani Boria and Marko Miskic. The leaders of the beginning of the race crashed into each other and now have lost everything. Camarata is down to P4. Ayrton Comi is now running in P5, and Tani Boria maintains second place, actually gained 1 position during this chaos on the track, but Mirko Pasqualetti is leading the race. He was starting only 6th and now is in front of everyone. 9.5 minutes to go. Pasqualetti with 0.6 seconds advantage over Boria. Tani Boria was running 3rd from the start, then a lot of things happened in front of Boria, and now Boria is 2nd, Pasqualetti is leading, Miskic 3rd, Camarata only 4th, Comi in P5, down from a 2nd position at the start of the race. Who would expect that in this corner under the bridge? All leading drivers crashed and lost their positions. Tani Boria got past Camarata and Comi. But Mirko Pasqualetti came from nowhere from P6 and was in front of everyone just one quarter later. Here number 9 of Mirko Pasqualetti leading the race, followed by Tani Borja in number 32, and also Marko Miskic really close behind, only 0.3 of a second between each of three leading drivers now. Then Enrico Cammarata is fourth, but 1.7 seconds missing to Marko Miskic. Ayrton Komi just 0.3 behind Cammarata. Prahoinig in sixth place, then Natalia Astalosova, Rafael Bro, Jamil Issa and Herdi Fozi. Number 13 on the back of Marko Miskic go-kart. He is running third now behind Tani Borja and Mirko Pasqualetti. On the bridge at the end of the lap, we are almost halfway through the race. 7.5 minutes remaining from 15 for this final. Number 9 of Mirko Pasqualetti at the front, increasing his gap by little, by 0.5 seconds. It's now 1/10 faster goes in this lap. Mirko Pasqualetti. Borja is second, Miskic third, Cammarata fourth, then Komi, Prahoinig, Astalosova, and at the end Brot, Issa and Fozi. .48.0 for Mirko Pasqualetti. The previous lap 48.2 for Tani Borja. 2/10 lost in this lap for Tani Borja. Is it possible to close the gap again? Marko Miskic 0.4 behind Borja. Once again, one more lap completed through the starting straight, and 2/10 more for Mirko Pasqualetti in the lead. And now there are 0.8 seconds between Pasqualetti and Borja. Miskic is 0.6 of a second further, but it's Natalia Astalosova. She sets the best lap time so far with 47.8. Actually, she's the first going into the 47 seconds from this race, from this final. But here is fight for P5 with Enrico Cammarata, Ayrton Komi and Patrick Prahoinig. The leaders are pulling away. 0.8 for Pasqualetti. Here in a red race suit comes Tani Borja, maintaining the same gap to the leader, 0.8. Almost identical lap times for Borja and Pasqualetti. Ayrton Komi in front of Enrico Cammarata. He tried to overtake Cammarata once a few laps after the start in this corner, but then they both crashed and lost a lot of positions. Now Komi gets in front of Cammarata, but they are not first and second. They now are running fourth and fifth. Five minutes to go, already 2/3 of the race done on the track. Mirko Pasqualetti leading the pack. In a number 9, 0.5 again between Pasqualetti and Borja. Borja is closing in on those laps. Borja, Marko Miskic and Natalia Astalosova. Three drivers have gone into the 47 seconds. Mirko Pasqualetti still driving 48.0. The best lap time for Pasqualetti, 48.3. Now losing 0.3 per lap to Tani Borja. Borja is already right behind Pasqualetti. Will we see one more fight, one more overtaking in this race? Number 13 of Marko Miskic in third place now, right in front. There are two leaders, Mirko Pasqualetti and Tani Borja. One more lap completed, 4 minutes to go in this race. Tani Borja with number 32, chasing Mirko Pasqualetti at the front. Four minutes left, already 11 spent on the track. Borja second, Miskic third, Komi fourth, Cammarata down to fifth place, starting P1. 6th is Patrick Prahoinig, Natalia Nastalosova behind him in P7, Rafael Bro P8, then Jamil Issa and Herdi Fozi, but Mirko Pasqualetti still leading with a very small margin over Tani Borja. It's 0.3 seconds again. Borja is closing. Will we see a fight for the win in this final race? 3.5 minutes to go. There are 3-4 laps till the end of this race. Has Borja a plan where to overtake Pasqualetti? Is there a place on the track to make an overtaking? Marko Miskic is close enough to gain a position if there goes anything wrong between Pasqualetti and Borja. Miskic is really close. They are separated by only 0.9 seconds, 0.9 between first and third driver on the track. There is the big gap, almost 4 seconds till fourth placed Ayrton Comi. Enrico Camarata still chasing Comi, trying to get his position back on the track, but 3 leaders here through the last corners, going into the last 3 minutes of this race. Mirko Pasqualetti leading, Tani Borja second, Marko Miskic third. It's Italy, it's Switzerland, it's Austria now leading this race in front of both Italians, Ayrton Comi and Enrico Camarata, who crashed at the beginning of the race too hard trying to overtake one another and now are down to 4th and 5th places. Here comes Mirko Pasqualetti with number 9, Tani Borja with 32 chasing hard, then Marko Miskic ready to take any opportunity if any of the drivers in front gives something like that to him. There's 2 minutes remaining, going inside into the last corner of the lap. Tani Borja takes the win, but there on the starting straight, Mirko Pasqualetti is back at the front. Marko Miskic gains advantage from this fight, and now he is up to second place, and Tani Borja down to third. Gave Borja position back to Pasqualetti after too aggressive move, or Pasqualetti just went faster through the last corner and got his position back anyway. That was Marko Miskic who took the most from this fight, and now number 13 is driving second in front of Tani Borja. This is fight for top 3 positions in this final. Little bit more than 1 minute to go. 2 laps to the finish. Maybe even 1 lap through the last corner goes Mirko Pasqualetti. Marko Miskic just got second place in front of Tani Borja. That was a brave move from Tani Borja trying to get into the lead. Almost got it, but then Mirko Pasqualetti took his first position back, and Marko Miskic watched from behind and knew where to go in front of everyone making mistake in front of him. Here is Pasqualetti and Miskic fighting hard. The crash into the back of Pasqualetti's car from Marko Miskic. Last seconds here on the track. It's very intense battle now for the first 3 places. Up on the bridge again, Mirko Pasqualetti is leading through the last corners of the lap, and they got 1 lap to go. Final lap has started. Mirko Pasqualetti leading, Marko Miskic second, and third is Tani Borja. What a fight for the first 3 places, for the win in this race. In G-Final, it's the winner who gets the prize, not the top 3 drivers. There's no podium for all finals except A. And also on the inside, after the bridge, goes Marko Miskic from the inside in the next corner, and Mirko Pasqualetti just lost his first place in the last lap of this race. Final lap, up on the bridge and 3 corners to the finish. It is Marko Miskic coming home first. But what a wonderful race here in G-Final. The the best overtakings we have seen so far today. Marco Miskic takes the win. Mirko Pasqualetti is second. Tani Borja third. Then comes Ayrton Komi, who started second, and only fifth is Enrico Camarata, who was on pole position. Natalia Astalosova with P6, then Patrick Prahoenig, Jamil Issa, Herdi Fozzi, and Rafael Brod. The final for Group G is over. Marco Miskic on the very last lap of the race takes the win and gets his prize for the win of G final. We have a lot of great races in front of us. There are 6 finals remaining, but what a great race here in G final between 10 drivers. For the first places at the beginning, those were Camarata and Komi fighting for the first and second, and then 2 Italians made a mistake fighting each other and let Pasqualetti through and went down to 4th and 5th places. At the beginning everything was okay, Camarata leading and Komi following him closely, but just after a couple of laps everything went wrong for 2 leading drivers. Here they are. And this time on the second lap everything still leading Camarata and Komi, and in this corner under the bridge there was a crash between them. It's number 13 of Marco Miskic trying to get inside at the downhill from the first bridge, and those were the corners where the most overtakings we saw today. It's number 13 of Miskic getting in front of Natalia Astalosova. That was P6 where was fighting Marco Miskic at the start of the race, and at the finish after 15 minutes he won this final. After the clash between both Italians, they were left at the end of top 5, and suddenly it was Mirko Pasqualetti who came out in front, followed by Tani Borja and Marco Miskic. Borja did everything to get in front of Pasqualetti. Further back, Komi and Camarata were fighting, and Komi at least there got in front of Camarata, but intense battle evolved at the end of the race. Here, Komi at least gets in front of Camarata, what he didn't in the first laps of the race. At the closing stages he went up to P4, but that was not about the winning. Here goes inside Tani Borja, next corner, and Pasqualetti is still side by side going out to the starting straight. Pasqualetti gets back his first position here, but there is Marco Miskic coming from behind and taking advantage of this flash, and on the last lap of the race Marco Miskic is on the inside of Pasqualetti, here letting him go, and on the next straight he is inside and in front. What a great race today in G final. Borja third, Pasqualetti second, and Marco Miskic taking the win.
Five years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
We are back to some serious racing here in Wavre, Belgium. Indoor karting, safety car already on the track. Rotax karting in front of everyone. We have a rolling starts today. We just saw an unbelievable, intense race in Final G, and now Group F is ready to go on track. It's Patrick Bonomi starting 14th. Mars Liepinch from P13. 12th is Sylvain Brossard. Matthias Ottesier is in P11. Top 10 for Edis Malinovskis. Wouter Popelier starting 9th. From P8 on the grid, Laura Veterova. P7 for Emanuele Signorini. P6 for Remy Panetieu. Francesco Panatti is 5th, right behind the safety car. Then Yang Yu Ko from P4 and Jim Snellman 3rd on the grid, but in front it's Jakub Jonas starting 2nd and Fawaz Youssef from pole position in Final F. So the drivers are lined up behind safety car and formation lap begins. It's Fawaz Youssef with number 22 now following safety car. 19 for Francesco Panatti. It's 28 for Snellman. 12 for Jonas Panetier with number 11. Ku with number 1. Signorini in go-kart number 5. 18 for Veterova, 17 for Popelier, Ottesier driving 23 and Mars Liepinch number 20. There is Patrick Bonomi with number 8 and Sylvain Brossard with number 25. Formation lap has started and we are waiting for race to begin. We have 14 drivers forming a queue after the safety car. They are going through the lap. And at the starting straight, the safety car will dive into the pit lane and then green flag will go down and we will start racing. It's the final. We have 6 more great races today left. It's a Group F on the track right now. We already saw an unbelievable intense battle in the Group G final, and we will see faster and faster drivers with each group going on the track. It's start again. Green flag goes down. Francesco Panatti leading Fawaz Youssef, then Jakub Jonas 3rd. Jim Snellman here goes to outside. Mars Liepinch going back to inside in a second corner. The fight continues, but the leading driver Francesco Panatti. Mathieu Ottesier has lost a place to Sylvain Brossard. Brossard up to 11th place now, followed by Bonomi and Liepinch. Down from the first bridge through those corners where we saw so many overtakings in a previous race. Now they're going through the first lap of this race. The very far back has fallen Mars Liepinch after a clash in the first 2 corners. It seemed like he went okay through the second corner, but now is really far behind everyone else. Francesco Panatti, Youssef Fawaz, Jakub Jonas, Jim Snellman coming to an end of the lap. Now Fawaz Youssef with number 22 leading the race. Panatti and Panetier both lost 2 places during the first lap, but now Fawaz Youssef is leading. Jakub Jonas is 2nd, Jim Snellman 3rd, then Yengyu Ko, Francesco Panatti, Panetier is 6th, 7th is Signorini, then Veterova, Malinovskis, Popelier, Brossard, Ottesier, Bonomi and Liepinch. Number 5, driving Emanuele Signorini in P7 right now. Fawaz Youssef leading the race with 0.5 seconds in front of Jakub Jonas. Snellman following in 3rd, then Yengyu Ko and Francesco Panatti. Remy Panetier in P6, followed by Emanuele Signorini, Laura Veterova, Edis Malinovskis in P9 and Wouter Popelier in P10. Jim Snellman in his yellow racing suit here chasing Jakub Jonas. In second place, Fawaz Youssef is pulling away, already 0.8 in front, and this lap goes faster in the middle sector. Fawaz Youssef gaining one more tenth in front. It should be 0.9. It is 0.9 now. Fawaz Youssef is pulling away. Jim Snellman still chasing Jakub Jonas. Can he fight with Jonas and get in front to chase Fawaz Youssef, or will they let Fawaz Youssef go? He is increasing his gap by 1/10 per lap. Now the first sector of the lap is slower for Fawaz Youssef, and Jonas and Snellman are closing again. First 3 minutes spent on the track racing, and Jonas with Snellman coming closer and closer back to Fawaz Youssef. Will we see the fight for the win as we saw in previous race? Snellman still third, Jonas in front in second place, Fawaz Youssef pulling away in a number 22. Here goes down the bridge and back to fourth place. Jim Snellman, Yang Yuk Ho is through the inside, down from the bridge, and number 1 goes in front of Jim Snellman. Francesco Panatti following in P5 with Remy Panetier in P6, but Fawaz Youssef is still leading with 0.8 seconds. Snellman was chasing Jonas. Both were going closer to Fawaz Youssef, but now that was Yu Yang-ho who went in front of Jim Snellman and now is pushing Jakub Jonas further ahead to chase Fawaz Youssef. Eleven minutes to go. Youssef down the bridge at the end of the lap. It's 0.4 now. Jonas is closing. Jim Snellman losing positions during this lap. It's Francesco Panatti getting in front of Snellman, number 19. Now going up to P4. Jim Snellman from third down to fifth in 2 laps. There is Bonamy further back, slipping up to the 12th place. Mathieu Otessier down to third and the 13th, and Mars Lepinch in P14 chasing the group after a very unsuccessful fight for the places at the start. Then there is a penalty for Mathieu Otessier. He gets 5 seconds penalty. Mathieu Otessier, number 23, is further up on the track, but with 5 seconds penalty now is classified only in P13. It's Fawaz Youssef in 22, still leading. Jakub Jonas 0.7 behind him. Jim Snellman is getting slower and slower. He's losing positions, and now there is a train of drivers behind him formed already. There is Panetier, there is Signoridi, Veterov, Malinovskis, Poppelier and Brossard, everyone within less than second after each other. It is Jim Snellman who is going slower and slower and losing positions on the track. Now they are losing time behind him. Now Francesco Panatti is driving away together with Ko, with Jonas, with Youssef, and leading position with a 0.7 seconds advantage over Jakub Jonas. And very fluctuating lap times from Fawaz Youssef and Jakub Jonas. In one lap they are 0.4, on next 0.7, then 0.5, as now 1 lap better for Youssef, next for Jonas, so they are chasing each other, but still less than second between them, less than half a second between Jonas and Ko, and also Panatti is 0.2 behind Ko. We have 4 best drivers within 1 second now, and there is a crash further back. Sorry, both drivers say going up to the bridge. Everyone else still on the track in their positions. Mars Lepinch further back, losing more than 4 seconds to the Otessier. It's Mathieu Otessier who has got a 5-second penalty, so Lepinch, even with Otessier's 5-second penalty, is last and losing 4 seconds to Otessier. And Otessier just set the absolutely fastest lap time of this race. So Otessier is classified 13th, but actually on the track he is 5 seconds further to the front. Here are the leaders. Fawaz Youssef is number 22, coming through the right corner. Jakub Jonas is second, only 0.4 of a second behind Youssef. Yunus second, Ko third, Panati fourth, Snellman still in fifth, but chased by Panetier, Signorini, Veterov, Malinowskis and Popelier. And Panetier is next one, going in front of Jim Snellman. That started so well. From P3 went Jim Snellman, but is losing positions lap after lap and now is already down to P6. It's Yang Yu Ko was first who went through in front of Snellman. Now there is a next, it's Emanuele Signorini trying to fight with Snellman for P6. But Yang Yu Ko was first, going up to third place. Then Francesco Panati took away P4 from Jim Snellman. The next was Remy Panetier, and now it's Emanuele Signorini fighting with Jim Snellman for P6. We still have 7 minutes to go. We're just over halfway mark of this race. Emanuele Signorini going inside, crashing into Snellman. Snellman is left outside. That seems like a judges will have something to say about. Snellman is just pushed out of the penultimate corner of the lap, and now he goes down for 3 or 4 more places. Emanuele Signorini also losing after this crash. He went slow through those corners as he was saying sorry to Jim Snellman. That was not his intention, it seemed, so he just was not able to brake so hard anymore and just pushed Snellman out of the corner. Fawaz Youssef is still leading, 6 minutes to go, and only 0.3 of a second behind Fawaz Youssef is Jakub Yunus. They are through the starting straight now. Behind them there is Veterova, Malinovskis and Popelier fighting for 6th, 7th and 8th. It's Laura Veterova in 18, followed by Edis Malinovskis in 26, and then Vautier Popeliers in number 17. Francesco Panati just setting the best lap time so far with 47.8. Here down from the bridge. That's Laura Veterova with number 18, closely followed by Edis Malinovskis and Vautier Popeliers. But one more crash in this corner coming down the bridge. That is Yang Yu Hu, who has lost 2 positions, fighting with Jakub Yunus now. Yang Hu lost at the same place on the track where he fight with Snellmans and got up to P3. Now Yang Yu Ko has lost 2 positions, is down to P5, and Francesco Panati proceeds to top 3 now. He's losing 1.4 seconds to the leader, only 0.6 to Jakub Yunus. Still the fight for the win is on in this race. With number 18 goes Laura Veterova, now running 6th in front of Edis Malinovskis and Vautier Popelier. But Fawaz Youssef still leading with a very, very small margins during the whole race. 0.7 seconds now, and Jakub Yunus now is busy with Francesco Panati trying to take second in this race. There is Francesco Panati with number 19 chasing Jakub Yunus. Here they are going up to the bridge for the first time in this lap. Jakub Yunus, number 12 in front, and Francesco Panati really close behind. Crash between them. Maintains to hold his position. Jakub Yunus almost turned over him. Francesco Panati, everything well, so maybe we will go through without penalties for this race. And Francesco Panati still chasing Jakub Yunus. And while they are fighting each other, it's Fawaz Youssef's chance to drive away. 0.8, already 1/10 of a second faster goes Fawaz Youssef as Yunus and Panati are busy fighting each other. There is number 12 of Jakub Yunus, still second, up to the bridge going Francesco Panati right behind him. Down from the bridge, that's the place where they crashed on a previous lap. There is without contact. They are going through these corners. Remy Panetier has joined this party. Now he's running 4th, but really, really close behind Panati and Yunus. We have 3 pilots fighting for second, third and fourth now, and also less than second in front is Fawaz Youssef. Last 3 minutes for this race goes through the starting straight. Once again, Fawaz Youssef leading by 0.7 seconds, and there number 19 of Francesco Panatti trying to get side by side with Jakub Jonas. This is fight for the second now, and almost side by side up to the bridge, still stays behind Francesco Panatti. Jonas is holding his second place here. Panatti is inside, they are side by side. Panatti crashed, Jakub Jonas goes back. There comes Remy Panetier taking advantage of this crash in front of him. Jonas, Panatti and Panetier crashing each other. Yang Yu-Ho is there right behind them and trying to get back positions, but Fawaz Youssef now has got the lead. He's more than second in front. Jakub Jonas still second after this crash with Panatti. Remy Panetier is up to third, and Francesco Panatti just last place in top three. Panatti is fourth. Further back, Mathieu Ottesier going in front of Patrick Bonamy. Mars Liepinch still last in P14. Sylvain Brossard is 11th. Emmanuel Signorini down to P10 after unsuccessful fight with Jim Snellman. Also Snellman lost a few positions and is riding 9th now. In P8 is Wouter Popelier. P7 Edis Madinovsky. 6th Laura Veterova. Yu Yang-Hu still holding P5 behind Francesco Panatti, Remy Panetier, Jakub Jonas and Fawaz Youssef leading the race going into the last minute of this final. Number 12 of Jakub Jonas still holding second place after unbelievable save. Panatti crashed into Jakub Jonas, turned his car by 90 degrees and almost crashed into the wall. Jakub Jonas he somehow managed to straighten his car and to maintain his position. But here comes Panatti again, side by side with Panetier. That's a fight for top three positions, and Panatti is through. Number 19 goes back in top 3. Panetier now is back in P4. Panatti is chasing Jakub Jonas. Fawaz Youssef is lucky to escape from this carnage behind him. Still second, Jakub Jonas with number 12, and we are going to final lap of this race. Fawaz Youssef 1.2 seconds in front of everyone, but Jakub Jonas, Francesco Panatti and Remy Panetier still fighting for second, third and fourth places in this race. Also Yang Yu-Ho is close enough to gain any advantage of mistakes in front. Laura Veterova and Edis Madinovsky in P7. They are very, very close after each other, but here is the leader Fawaz Youssef in 22, Jakub Jonas in 12, just followed by Francesco Panatti. Half a lap to go till the finish line. For the last time on this lap, up on the bridge goes Fawaz Youssef. Here is our winner of Final F. It's Fawaz Youssef. Jakub Jonas takes second, Francesco Panatti third. It's Remy Panetier in P4 at the end of the race. Yang Yu-Ho was third, then went back down to P5. Laura Veterova progressed during the race to P6, followed by Edis Madinovskis. Wouter Popelier in P8. Jim Snellman started third, but went down to the 9th place. Sylvain Brossard after him in P10, then Emmanuel Signorini 11th, Mathieu Ottesier in P12, then Patrick Bonamy and Mars Liepinch. That's the end for a final of Group F. But Fawaz Youssef took everything from his P1 on the start. Jakub Jonas got a lot more intense race in second place. Everyone tried to take away his second place in the race, but Jakub Jonas somehow stayed in P2 and over finish line in P2. It's Francesco Panatti going to P3, then losing to Remy Panetier, then gaining back this position. A very, very intense battle in this final two. Only Fawaz Youssef gets away without fighting on the track. Here are the crashes from first two corners. Very, very unlucky start for Mars Liepinch. Here he got turned over into the barriers looking for the reverse gear, and then he chased everyone else from further back, setting a new record in a sector 2, but anyway, far behind everyone else. Fawaz Youssef with the number 22 started first and went first. Here is Yeng Yuk Ho going into top 3 in front of him. Snellman after lost to Francesco Panatti too, and were losing positions during the race. Here Panatti goes inside of Panetier. Fight for P3 already, and here is Kobunas crashed with Panatti, then Panetier. Yeng Yuk Ho went down to P5. Some highlights of this race. We still have 5 great races to go. The next crash here during the last corner. Now this is Remy Panatti in front of Snellman, but not so lucky was Snellman with Emanuele Signorini. Signorini crashed into the one. Both were losing positions after that, and here one more crash into the corner down from the last bridge at the end of the lap. Very intense battle for second, third and fourth places in this race. Fawaz Youssef was there right in front. Here fight for second between Panatti and Jakub Jonas. Jakub crashed into the Panatti's car. Panatti got straight away, losing only one position to Remy Panetier. Here Panatti gets his position back from Panetier, but it is just a little bit too late to fight for second with Jakub Jonas again, and Fawaz Youssef is on the finish line, winning the final of Group F, followed by Jakub Jonas, Francesco Panatti and Remy Panetier. And 5 more finals to race today. This is a Group E. Here we have Nicolas Schiffer starting 14th, Ville Vilento from P13. 12th on the grid is Jérôme Choquet. Balazs Sutz from 11. P10 for Alexander Peyfer. Jérôme Bianchi from P9. 8th on the grid is Olli Herko. In front of him, Massimo Criscolo. Then Timoleon Dupin on P6. 5th on the grid is Joni Lorenzi. 4th, Sergio Chico Gonzalez. 3rd, it's Glendy Dionysis. 2nd, after the safety car now forming the queue of drivers, is Jesse Nissinen. And 1st, from P1, goes Roni Rautala. And there they are. Number 16 for Roni Rautala, number 9 for Jesse Nissinen, number 30 it's Glendy Dionysis, number 10 it's Sergio Chico Gonzalez, 31 for Johnny Lorenzi, 13 for Timo Leon Dupin. Number 29, it's Massimo Criscolo, followed in number 7 by Olli Horko. We are on the formation lap in this race. Group E on the track. Two very intense battles in the two first finals we already saw on the track, and what awaits still in this day. Still 5 races to go, and in the last race we will see fight for the podium on final day of racing here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals, and also combining results of both days together, points scored in both days together, we will crown the Saudi World Series E-Sprint champion of 2024 here in Wavre, Belgium. So the best driver during the all qualification races through 2024 here are met for the final race in 2025 and deciding who will be the third electric sprint champion in Saudi World Series. First year was 2 years ago in Sweden, then last year in Switzerland in Bayern, and now we are here in Wavre to get our third champion of electric sprint finals. Safety car goes into the pit lane and we are racing. Roni Rautala in front. There are crashes through the second corner. The battles are more intense than before. Rautala is leading, Nissinen second through the first part of the track. Glendy Dionysis third, Gonzalez fourth, Balas Zutz lost positions in the first two corners. Now he is last. There is Ville Vilento. Someone crashed into him. It seems like it's Nicolas Schiffer just crashed into a Vilento car going up to the bridge for the first time. Balas Zutz is far behind everyone else. He has lost most places and most time during this fight on a first lap. Roni Rautala over the finish line after first lap racing. Jesse Nissinen is second, Glendy Dionysis third, Sergio Chico Gonzalez fourth, Jérôme Choquet moving up to P11, Ville Vilento is 12th, Nicolas Schiffer 13th, and Balas Zutz lost 3 positions in the fight for the positions on the track in the first 2 corners of this lap. Second lap is on. This is a final of Group E. Roni Rautala is pulling away. Jesse Nissinen a little bit slower on the track, already 0.6 seconds. Can Nissinen find those missing tenths, missing hundreds to keep up with Roni Rautala? Rautala 0.6 after first lap, 0.7 now. It's 1/10 of... And there is Massimo Criscolo. Spun on the track, turned over in the opposite direction on the track, and now is coming back last, or maybe just in front of Balas Zutz, who lost even more at the start, and Massimo Criscolo down from P11 to P13 now. One more lap, a little bit faster for Roni Rautala, 0.7 between him and Jesse Nissinen. Both flying Finns at the first positions in this race. Roni Rautala goes 48.0, 48.1 for Jesse Nissinen, and one more tenth added to the Roni Rautala's gap in front, 0.8. Now Jesse Nissinen is missing only 7/10 of a second. Glendy Dionysis is chasing him in third. It's Sergio Chico Gonzalez losing 6/10 to Dionysis. Then Johnny Lorenzi coming in P5, and just 2/10 of a second behind Sergio Chico Gonzalez. We are back on the starting straight again, and now this is 1 second. Rautala is pulling away Nissinen, just a few tenths of a second in front of Glendy Dionysus, but also Dionysus is just a bit too far away from Jesse Nissinen to fight for second. Roni Rautala is clocking fastest lap times, only one going into 47 seconds of the lap. Losing for about 1/10 per lap is Jesse Nissinen. It's 1.0 now between both leading Finns, but Glendy Dionysus is 0.8 behind Nissinen. 0.7 for Chico Gonzalez, then 0.3 for Joni Lorenzi. It's number 31 of Joni Lorenzi, now chasing Chico Gonzalez. Gonzalez was number 10, and there is Dionysus and Nissinen fighting for second. Now, here coming Chico Gonzalez, Lorenzo, and Dupain. Timoleon Dupain is also joined those drivers fighting for P5, for P4. Sergio Gonzalez is in front of this train and very close, followed by Joni Lorenzi and Timoleon Dupain. Number 16 for Roni Rautala, leading the race, increasing the gap to 1.2 seconds. That seems almost comfortable already. Jesse Nissinen, half a second in front of Glendy Dionysus. Chico Gonzalez losing 6/10 to Dionysus. Then is Joni Lorenzi and Timoleon Dupain fighting for P5. Here comes Jesse Nissinen in number 9, followed by Glendy Dionysus in number 30, Sergio Chico Gonzalez number 10 behind them, then Joni Lorenzi and Timoleon Dupain, Oli Horko also very close behind Dupain, Jerome Bianchi 0.8 behind Horko, then comes Alexander Peffer, then there is a bigger gap before Jérôme Choquet in P10. Nicolas Schiffer goes in front of Vilento Ville. No, they are swapped their positions back, and now it's Vilento Ville and Nicolas Schiffer. We have a penalty for Vilento Ville, and he has got 3 seconds for pushing another driver, and now Vilento Ville is classified behind Schiffer. But further back in 13 goes Massimo Criscolo, and in P14 Balas Zutz. .2 seconds, the same margin remains between Roni Rautala and Jesse Nissinen. 48.1, 48.2, still a little bit faster lap time for Roni Rautala. There is half a second between Nissinen and Dionysus. Also very close is Chico Gonzalez, also Lorenzi and Dupain and Horko and Bianchi. Everyone within 1 second after the leading driver in front of him. Here is Nissinen in the orange race suit, followed by Glendy Dionysus with the number 30 on his car. There is Sergio Chico Gonzalez with number 10. Then comes Joni Lorenzi in 31. Lorenzi comes closer and closer, already looking for space on the inside of almost each corner where he could get side by side with Sergio Chico Gonzalez. Gonzalez is only half a second behind Dionysus, but half a second is not enough. We have seen already you need 3/10 of a second. You need to be closer than half a second. When there are only 3/10, then there is a place for move, there is a place for overtaking. Now, Glendy Dionysus is coming closer and closer to Nissinen, 0.4. Now there are 0.3. Even closer comes Dionysus. Will he try to make a move here? Down from the bridge comes leader and goes inside. Dionysus fight with Jesse Nissinen. Nissinen is down to P3, and now Glendy Dionysus moves up to second place in this race. That allows Roni Rautala to increase his gap to 2.5 0.1 seconds. At the same time, putting the best lap time on with 47.7. Roni Rautala is driving away, but the other Finn is in the trouble. Glendy Dionysis goes by up to second. Yes, Nissinen now is chased by Sergio Chico Gonzalez. There is also Joni Lorenzi, Timo Leon Dupan and Olli Horko. All top 7 drivers fighting for positions on the track now. Only Roni Rautala got 2 seconds cushion behind him. Here goes down the hill Glendy Dionysis with number 30, followed by Jesse Nissinen. There is a 0.4 between them. Nissinen has not given up. He is still fighting with Dionysis. He is still fighting with Chico Gonzalez, who is right behind him. Here in this train, everything can change in a milliseconds. We have seen that already before. There is no one place gained or one place lost there, and most of the time, if you are losing a lot of places in a 1 or 2 corners. Now, yes, Nissinen lost just to Glendy Dionysis, still holding up to 3rd place and still chasing Dionysis. Can Nissinen take his spot back? Can he take back 2nd place from Glendy Dionysis? We still have 5 minutes to go, a long race ahead of us. Starting straight again, Roni Rautala 1.7 now. Glendy Dionysis is going faster than Roni Rautala this lap for 0.2 of a second, and there is only 1.7. Can Dionysis catch Roni Rautala? Rautala was away for more than 2 seconds, and now it's back to 1.7. At the beginning of this lap, Rautala goes 1/10 faster in the first sector of the lap, 1/10 faster in the second. It seems like only 1 lap was faster for Glendy Dionysis. The 3rd sector is the longest one. There you need to spend more than 20 seconds. And in those 20 seconds, can Glendy Dionysis gain back the 0.2 of a second lost in first 2 sectors to Roni Rautala? 3rd sector is slower for Rautala. Only 1/10 gets back Glendy Dionysis with a great time in a 3rd sector, and now there are 1.8 still losing. Whole lap is Glendy Dionysis. Still 1.8 for Roni Rautala, but Dionysis is followed by Nissinen 0.7. Chico Gonzalez is right behind, and yes, Nissinen. There comes also Joni Lorenzi, Timo Leon Dupain, and Olli Horko. Here in the middle of the pack goes number 31 of Joni Lorenzi, chased by 13 with Timo Leon Dupan at the wheel. Olli Horko at the end of this train. Less than 4 minutes to go in this race. Roni Rautala is leading 1.8 in previous lap, and now 0.3 gained by Glendy Dionysis. There's only 1.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd place. Can Roni Rautala maintain this comfortable gap behind him, or will Glendy Dionysis catch him and fight for the win in this race? The margin is getting smaller and smaller at the beginning of this lap. Roni Rautala, maybe he saw how close is coming Glendy Dionysis, and now he sets new record in the 1st sector of the track, moving away for 0.2 in only 1 sector of the track. Rautala is faster now. Similar time through the 2nd sector. Now they are coming to an end of the lap for once more down from the bridge, driving the leader Roni Rautala 1.5. The gap went down to 1.5 in previous lap. Now they are crossing finish line again, and Roni Rautala gets 1/10 back. It's 1.6 now. Dionysis still chased by Nissinen. Behind Nissinen there comes Gonzalez, Lorenzi, Dupain and Horko. The distance between Dionysis and Nissinen is increasing, already 0.9. It's almost a second between Dionysis and Nissinen. Finn is dropping back behind Dionysis and in the clutches of Sergio Chico Gonzalez. The fight for 3rd is on. Here comes up on the Jesse Nissinen, followed by Sergio Chico Gonzalez in this corner. He's taking maneuvers before, but now Nissinen is going with the wide lines, not trying to defend his position. He is sure about his speed. He knows how fast he can go and does not try to defend his position on the track. Here, nice wide lines for Nissanen. Gonzalez following very close down from the hill. Here on the middle of the track stays Nissanen, not going to the outside. It seems like this could be a place where Gonzalez could try to overtake Nissanen, but that was the only corner where Nissanen took the middle of the track and did not leave the door open at the entry in the corner. Rautala 1.6 ahead, 1.5. Dionysis is closing, but very, very slowly, and at this rate he will need 15 laps to catch Roni Rautala, but we have only 1 minute left, and Rautala is driving to the finish and driving after the win in E-Final today. Andy Dionysis still second, 1.5 seconds behind Rautala. Jesse Nissanen holding his third place in this final. This or maybe one more lap till the finish. 40 seconds going through the last sector. Roni Rautala, it seems like we have got one more lap to race. Maybe that's not the good news for Jesse Nissanen. Sergio Gonzalez is right behind him. Also Lorenzi and Dupin. Also Oli Horko. All of them got their chance to fight for position on the last lap of race. The time is running out. Roni Rautala setting the record fast times in the first sector, pulling away from everyone else. At the end of the last lap, Glendy Dionysis got to 1.4 seconds behind Rautala. Now it's back to 1.6 during this lap. Here goes Roni Rautala with number 16. Glendy Dionysis is second, just got away from Jesse Nissanen, but unable to catch the leading driver. Here is Roni Rautala down from the bridge through the last corner and to the checkered flag and takes the win. It's Roni Rautala, Finland. Glendy Dionysis takes second. Jesse Nissanen defends his third place in this race. Sergio Chico Gonzalez is fourth. Jonni Lorenzi P5, then Timo Leon Dupin in P6. Oli Horko is seventh. Alexander Peifer in P8. Jerome Bianchi is ninth. Then Jerome Choquet in 10th place. Billy Valento 11th. Nicolas Schiffer 12th. Massimo Criscolo in P13 and Palas Sutz in P14. We got a penalty for Ville Valento. He got a 3 seconds penalty and is classified in P11 after this race. But great drive from Roni Rautala. He takes the win. They're starting from pole position. Starting first and finishing first is Roni Rautala. There was a fight further behind. Balas Sutz lost places at the first lap. Jesse Nissanen was pushed out on the corner and Glendy Dionysis got in front of him, but no place more left. Jesse Nissanen, he defended his third place in this race and went to the finish in the third, chased by a group of drivers. Here one more crash and very unfortunate move from Massimo Criscolo. He spins and is coming home only 13 after this unfortunate moment. But Jesse Nissanen spent all race trying to defend his position from Sergio Chico Gonzalez. He did that and was third over the finish line. It's Jonni Lorenzi in 31 fighting with Gonzalez. Here everyone was busy to fight for positions. That was Glendy Dionysis with number 30, last going in front of Jesse Nissanen, but no one else got past Jesse Nissanen and stayed behind him. Nissanen takes third, Glendy Dionysis second, and Roni Rautala is the winner of Final E. We still have 4 races to go, and on the track here in Wavre, faster and faster drivers with each final. We are going on track again here in Wavre. Safety car already on the track. We have final Group D now. Lining up behind safety car. On pole position goes Florian Collet with number 28. Second on the grid is Anthony Bourgeois with number 19. From third is starting Maxime Kuhn, waiting for him to arrive and line up after safety car. P3 for Maxime Kuhn, he is lining up. No, it seems like Anthony Bourgeois, he should be second, but there is someone in front of him. Bourgeois is in a go-kart number 5. Some misunderstanding here. Maxime Kuhn got third place on the grid and Anthony Bourgeois is second, but then there they are reversed on the grid now. Bourgeois is in a third position in his go-kart number 5, then followed by Igor Dibash with 26. It's Emilien Gouchon with number 23. Now there should one. So Gouchon is with 26 and 23 for Morgat Tevena. Yanis Vey with number 8. Alex Lutzenkirchen with number 22. Matteo Grappolini in number 1. Kari Suoninen 25. Karl Skaini in number 11, Eduard Varkel 20, Maxim Delmotte in 17, and Tero Makinen number 18 going last on the grid in final D. So Florian Collet right after safety car starting first in this final. Anthony Bourgeois goes second. So is everything correct for Anthony Bourgeois? Number 5 lines up in second place on the grid. There comes Maxime Kuhn in 19, followed by Igor Dibash in number 28. Then Emilien Gouchon going 5th. Behind Gouchon, it is Alexander Lutzenkirchen in number 22. 23 for Morgatevena, then Matteo Grappolini, Karl Skaini, Yanis Vey, Harri Suoninen, Maxim Delmotte, Tero Makinen, and Eduard Varkel going on the grid for Group D final race here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. We are on to the formation lap. One more great race awaiting us today. 4 finals left. This is a D group and faster drivers getting on the track. According to the results of first 2 heats of this day, there comes safety car. Behind it goes Florian Collet in pole position now, followed by Antoine Bourgeois, then Maxime Kuhn and Igor Dibash. Formation lap here, only a few corners left till the end of formation lap there. The leading car will go into the pits and we will start racing for more 15 minutes here in Wavre Indoor Karting track. Opposite direction we are going today, up on the bridge at the end of the lap, going the whole queue of the drivers with safety car in front. We have one more rolling start here now, 2 more corners to go and the race will start. The car in front moving to the left side of the track. Green flag is there. It drops down and we start racing. Collet in front, followed by Bourgeois and Kuhn. A harder fight further back, but the leaders go through the first corners. It's Florian Collet at the front. There are already forming a gaps behind him. We have started the final D now. Yanis Vey, Matteo Grappolini, Haris Suorinen, Karl Skaini following him. The very good time in a second sector from Karl Skaini. Now he's fighting with Eduard Varkel. The leaders are going through the track now. The first lap has started. We have 15 minutes to go racing in Group D. Now the first lap completed. Florian Collet still in front, Anthony Bourgeois second, but Maxim Kuhn now is third as he started. Igor Dibash in P4. Emilien Gouchon P5, then Alexander Lutzenkirchen from 6 to P5 after back to P6 after first lap, and Emilien Gouchon is still in front of him as they started. Then at Morgate Bernat after Lutzenkirchen in P7, Matteo Grappolini P8, Carlos Caini in P9, 10th is Harri Suoninen. Then comes Janis Vei, Tero Makinen, Eduard Varkel and Maxime Delmotte. First lap done. Still very small margins between the drivers. Only 4/10 of a second between Florian Collet and Anthony Bourgeois. Fight for the win is still on in this race. There comes Maxim Kuhn in number 19 with his blue race suit and yellow crash helmet. But there in number 18 it is Tero Makinen holding off Eduard Varkel and Maxime Delmotte in P12. The leaders at the end of the lap, one more lap completed. Florian Collet 0.4 still between him and Bourgeois. Maxim Kuhn 4/10 a second further back, still very close. Are driving all four drivers at the front. Also Igor Dibash is very close. They're losing only 4/10 of a second to Maxim Kuhn. Emilien Gouchon is only 2/10 further back with 0.6 losing to Dibash. It's very close to try to overtake anyone in this group. Further back there is Suoninen and Vale fighting for 9th, and Makinen, Varkel and Delmotte fighting for 11th. But there, the leaders at the end of the third lap in this race, at fourth lap already. Florian Collet in number 12, leading with only 0.4 seconds advantage. He is not able to pull away during 4 laps. The distance between Collet and Bourgeois is the same, 0.4 seconds, 0.3. Kuhn comes closer in P3. Here, Lutzenkirchen in number 22, chasing Emilien Gouchon. At 19 of Maxim Kuhn, still third, right behind Anthony Bourgeois. And Bourgeois only 4/10 of a second behind Florian Collet at the front. 4 minutes already spent on the track, 5 laps completed, and still only half a second between leading drivers, only 2/10 a second between second and third place drivers, 4/10 between third and fourth place. Gouchon is falling a little bit further back in 5, but is chased by Alexander Lutzenkirchen, by Morgate Bernat, Matteo Grappolini and Harri Suoninen. Here comes number 8 of Janis Vei in front of Makinen, Varkel and Delmotte. $25 for Harri Suoninen in this fight from P5 to P9. And Emilien Gouchon in number 26, right behind Igor Dibash and Maxim Kuhn. Here is 26 of Emilien Gouchon through the last corner and starting the next lap on the track. Trying to overtake during the first corner Alexander Lutzenkirchen, but stays behind. Emilien Gouchon defends his 5th position. Here Florian Collet, Anthony Bourgeois and Maxim Kuhn still leading the race. First 5 minutes done on the track. New record in a second sector for Florian Collet. He moves away for 3/10 in one sector. He lost 2/10 in the first sector. The middle of the lap is faster for Florian Collet, but anyway, at the end of the lap, it's still half a second between him and Anthony Bourgeois. Here they are through the last corner, and Bourgeois is closer again. 0.3. That's the fight for the win. 0.3 between Bourgeois and Collet. 0.5 between Kuhn and Bourgeois between third and second place. There is Maxim Kuhn. Yellow crash helmet and blue racing suit. We see him there is chased by Igor Dibash in P4. Also very close in front are Anthony Bourgeois and Florian Collet here fighting for the win. Top 4 drivers with a very small margins between them. There between Dibash and Gouchon is only 1 second. So still the drivers from 5th till 9th able to fight for better positions in this race. There are very small gaps between drivers in this final. 8.5 minutes to go. Still leading Florian Collet, but he went away, got 1 second advantage in front, and now Anthony Bourgeois is back right behind him with 0.2 seconds between them. In any corner, in any place, there can come Anthony's Bourgeois attack on Florian's Collet leading position. Where will he try to overtake? They're very close behind is Maxim Kuhn and Igor Dibash. All 4 drivers going very fast and very close to each other. Leading Florian Collet, 0.2 between him and Bourgeois. On the bridge, the next corner down from the bridge is the place we have seen a lot of overtaking maneuvers and also a lot of mistakes trying to overtake someone in front. Here they are going through without a contact. 0.4 now between Collet and Bourgeois. Behind them, here is 26 of Dibash and 22 of Alexander Lutzenkirchen fighting for P5. And here top 4 drivers with Max Kuhn in 3rd place in go-kart number 19, followed closely by Igor Dibash in 28. We are halfway through the race, only 7 minutes remaining. All 4 leading drivers within 1 second on the track. 0.3 between Collet and Bourgeois. 0.4 between Bourgeois and Kuhn. 0.4 also between Kuhn and Dibash. A leading group of drivers fighting for positions on the track. It's Florian Collet at the front. 6.5 minutes to go, and up on the hill, side by side. Still stays in front Emilian Gouchon with 26. Alexander Lutzenkirchen what uphill side by side with Gouchon, but still stays behind. Florian Collet is still leading. End of the next lap and 6 minutes remaining. Bourgeois, Kuhn and Dibash still fighting for the win. All 4 drivers, anyone can come out in front if anything happens there. Here is 22 of Lutzenkirchen chasing Emilian Gouchon. They are going really fast and now are closing in on leading group of drivers. The gap between Dibash and Gouchon now is less than 1 second. Still the same positions for Collet, Bourgeois, Kuhn and Dibash. A small gap behind Dibash, and then comes Gouchon and Lutzenkirchen fighting for P5. And here is Florian Collet at the front. Down from the bridge through the last corners. 5 minutes to go and only 0.3 of a second between Collet and Bourgeois. Also Maxim Kuhn only half a second behind Bourgeois, 0.3 a second behind Kuhn comes Dibash. He goes in P4 now. Emilian Gouchon 0.9 behind Dibash. Then Alexander Lutzenkirchen fighting with Gouchon for this 5th place on the track, but it was at least 2 times Lutzenkirchen has been side by side with Emilian Gouchon, but still is behind him. He's not able to make a move to get in front of Emilian Gouchon. Igor Dibash still P4, Maxim Kuhn P3, Anthony Bourgeois P2, and Florian Collet leading the race with 4.5 minutes to go. Behind Lutzenkirchen, there is a fight for P7 between Morga Tevena and Harry Suoninen. Suoninen moves up to P7. Morga Tevena now is in P8, followed by Matteo Grappolini. They are also within 1 second. Those three drivers fighting for 7th, 8th and 9th. And then from P10, Janis Vei, Tero Makinen, Eduard Varkel, Maxim Delmotte and Carl Scaini closing this race. We have 4 minutes to go. Florian Collet still leading this race with very, very small margin. Trying to go inside, Anthony Bourgeois going down from the bridge, but he was too far behind. But anyway, interesting line in this corner from Anthony Bourgeois. 0.3 remains. Maybe he's testing. We're just changing the line by a very small amount. Maybe he can gain, maybe he can lose. It's not enough. Lose position to Maxim Kuhn behind. And here it's Lutzenkirchen again. Side by side, but stays on the outside on the next corner. And Igor Debash and Emilian Guchon still holding their positions. Guchon in front of Lutzenkirchen. Guchon with a number 26 on his card, followed by Lutzenkirchen. Then Harry Suoninen also closing in and now is within 1 second behind Lutzenkirchen. But 3 minutes to go and Florian Collet leading the race. Still 0.3 of a second between them. Third placed Maxim Kuhn, only 0.7 seconds behind leader, and only 1 second behind leader is Igor Debash. So 4 leading drivers within 1 second. Here they go. And then fight for P5. Guchon, Lutzenkirchen and Suoninen, also joined by Tevena and Grappolini now. 2 minutes to go. Last laps in this race. Will do something. Anthony Bourgeois, will he fight with Florian Collet for the win? Those are the last laps in this race. 2 minutes to go. 2-3 laps maybe to the finish line. And Collet is still leading. 0.3, 0.4 seconds between him and Anthony Bourgeois. Also behind Bourgeois, Maxim Kuhn and Igor Debash, who will lose patience and do something on the last laps in the race. There is a small gap in front of Guchon and Lutzenkirchen. Top 4 drivers pulling away a little bit, but still chasing each other. Florian Collet started from P1 and is leading whole race. 1.5 minutes to go in this final. Florian Collet through the last corner and 2 laps to go in this race. Suoninen and Tevena in front of Lutzenkirchen. Does not succeed. Lutzenkirchen fighting with Guchon, and that is Suoninen. Tevena going in front of him, and also Matteo Grappolini, number 1, side by side with Lutzenkirchen and fighting for the P5. Lutzenkirchen now has lost a lot, down to 8th place. But leading drivers remain the same. Here is Florian Collet, Anthony Bourgeois, Maxim Kuhn and Igor Debash. Now the gap behind them are even bigger. Guchon is more than 1 second behind, chased by Harry Suoninen, Morga Tevena and Alexander Lutzenkirchen now down to P8 in front of Matteo Grappolini. We have started final lap of this race. There goes 28 of Igor Debash, in front of him Maxim Kuhn and Anthony Bourgeois and Florian Collet. Last lap of this race. Here, down from the bridge, is one overtaking spot in this race. No, everyone remains in the same positions. Here you can try again. No place for Bourgeois. Collet still leading. We're approaching the end of the lap and the end of the race. Right turn and up on the bridge. 3 corners to the finish line. Florian Collet is leading down the bridge. Goes on the racing line. Anthony Bourgeois not trying to get inside. And it is Florian Collet taking the win in final Group D. The celebration from Emilian Guchon, and someone crashes into him. It's Matteo Grappolini. There was no place for him, already starting to drive slower. Emilian Gouchon, he is home in P6, P5 for Harri Suoninen, Igo Dibash in P4, Maxim Kuhn, P3, second is Anthony Bourgeois, and Florian Collet wins this race. The winner of Group D is Florian Collet. We still have 3 finals awaiting. 3 groups of fastest drivers will come on the track. Collet takes the win, Bourgeois second, Kuhn third, then Dibash, Suoninen, Gouchon, Tevena, Lutzenkirchen, Grappolini and Janis Whale completing the top 10. Behind is Tero Makinen, Eduard Varkel, Maxim Delmotte and Karl Skani. Starting from P1, Florian Collet did not pull away. There were 0.3, 0.4 seconds to the whole race. Not managed to get to pull a bigger gap. Florian Collet, Anthony Bourgeois was behind him. Maxim Kuhn right behind in the third place. All top 4 drivers chasing each other all 15 minutes on the track, but without a move, without any chance to get any better. There was Alexander Lutzenkirchen a few times fighting with Emilian Gouchon in the front of him for P5. One time up the hill, second time side by side, but never succeed Lutzenkirchen, and then it went wrong and Lutzenkirchen lost 4 places and over the finish line came in P8. Here, one more racing up to the bridge between Emilian Gouchon and Alexander Lutzenkirchen. The top 4 drivers without a contact, without an overtaking, very, very close to all race, and were Florian Collet, Anthony Bourgeois, Maxim Kuhn and Igor Dibash. That's the same order as they finished, but Alexander Lutzenkirchen later lost a few places, regained in front of Matteo Grappolini. Grappolini with number 1 stayed in 9th position. Lutzenkirchen on the finish line was 8th behind Morgatevena and Emilian Gouchon, who he was fighting at the start of the race. But anyway, Florian Collet, after immense pressure from Bourgeois, Kuhn and Dibash, anyway, was first over the finish line. One more great race done and 3 races to go.
5 years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
It's final C drivers on the track now. It's pole position for Dorian Hankes. He's already lined up behind the safety car with the number 2 on his go-kart. Second on the grid is Julien Pascal with number 24. Then number 32 for Marco Massoli. Fourth on the grid is Marceau Guigny. Then from P5 starting Gary Sooks in number 29. It's Kyle Volkerts in number 15. Then Antoine Weiss in number 7. 13th for Julien Bianchi. Theo Janczek in 31. Artur Piette. Behind him in number 9, 3 for Mika Snellman. Then Nino Bray in number 30, 10 for Julien Misler, and 16 Philippe Mattea. All on the formation lap before their last start here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. Third fastest group of drivers now fighting for the win in their final race. Formation lap, safety car is in front. We are starting final of Group C today here in Wavre. It's Dorian Hankes right behind Rotax safety car. It's Julien Pascal in second place, and we are racing again. Number 2 for Dorian Hankes. He is leading the race. Marco Massoli, then Julien Pascal and Marceau Guigny fighting for the first spot in this race. In the go-kart number 2, Dorian Hankes is leading now up on the bridge, and very, very hard race now for those drivers. 15 minutes to go there. Down from the bridge without overtaking moves so far. Hankes leading, then Massoli, Guigny, Pascal, Sux and Volkert, Antoine Wies, Julien Bianchi, Theo Janček, Artur Piette, Mika Snellman, Nino Bray, Philippe Mattea and Julien Misler. First lap completed. Hankes is first, Pascal second as started. Marco Massoli starting from third. Marceau Guigny is fourth, containing his starting position. Then Gary Sux started fifth and still running fifth, followed by Kyle Volkert, Antoine Wies, Julien Bianchi, Theo Janček and Artur Piette at the end of top 10. So far without moves, without overtaking and without crashes, we are going through the second lap of this race. And here we go, it's number 30 of Nino Bray going inside of Mika Snellman. That's fight for P11 on the track. Dorian Hankes trying to pull away, but Julien Pascal is really close behind him. Here they are through the starting straight after the second lap of this race. Further back, Antoine Wies goes up to P6, Julien Bianchi to P7. Kyle Volkert has lost to Bianchi and Wies. Artur Piette is in front of Theo Janček. Nino Bray just fourth with Mika Snellman, but stays in P12 as it was at the start. Dorian Hankes in number 2 leading the pack. Julien Pascal in second place in number 24. Here goes 31 of Theo Janček in P10. Marco Massoli in 32, right on the rear bumper of Julien Pascal, looking to inside in the second corner. Is there a place or not? Seems like Julien Pascal did not leave the door open, and Marco Massoli had nowhere to go. Here they are up on the bridge. Antoine Wies just at the fastest lap of the race, but he is down in P6. Here it seems like Pascal maybe were faster than Hankes up on the bridge, but if he would move to the outside, Marco Massoli would be on the inside on the very same moment. So they are so close together. They are very high risk of going off the racing line and trying to overtake someone in front. 4, 5 leading drivers within 1 second after each other. Even Antoine V with his best lap time now is closing in, and top 7 drivers are now within 1 second. It's Dorian Hankes leading and goes inside with a crash. Julien Pascal, number 24, goes through up on the hill now. One more crash and back into the row goes Julien Pascal. A fight continues. This is number 13 of Julien Bianchi down in P7 now, fighting for his position with Antoine V in P6. A lot of things started with just one overtaking. They are so close together that any move causes a lot of consequences and a lot of positions. So Marco Massoli is out of this crash in second place, right behind Dorian Hankes. Julien Pascal down to third. Gary Sou in front of Marceau Guinea. Antoine V still sixth. Followed by Kyle Volkerts and Julien Bianchi. Theo Janček down to P9 in front of Mika Snellman and Nino Bray. Now it is Marco Massoli, one position up, trying to fight with Dorian Hankes. Five minutes spent on the track, already 1/3 of a race is done. 10 minutes to go, only 0.2 of a second between Hankes and Massoli fighting at the front. Julien Pascal down to third place, Gary Soux up to fourth, followed by Marceau Guinea and Antoine Wies. Again, we have top six drivers within 1 second after each other. There is only a little bit bigger gap between Wies and Volkerts in P7. But Volkerts is chased by Bianchi, by Janček, Snellman, Bray, Piette, Misle and Philippe Mattea. So we have 6 drivers and we have 8 drivers. 2 groups, all within 1 second after each other. And now 0.2 between Hankes and Massoli. Massoli sets the best time in a middle sector of this lap, still chasing Dorian Hankes to 0.204. That's the closest gap we have seen so far. And Marco Massoli is chasing Dorian Hankes. Here they are going up on the first bridge. Close enough is Julien Pascal, trying to get back his last position at the first fight in this race. Gary Soux is close enough to gain positions, also Marceau Guinea and Antoine V. And also Volkerts now closing in to less than second behind V. The same distance remains with Julien Bianchi, and now we have all 14 drivers and less than second separating each of them. What a long train of cars on the track. 8 minutes to go and we have all 14 drivers with less than second between. Can Dorian Hankes pull away? 8 minutes to go. 1/10 he gets now. It's 3/10 of a second in front of Marco Massoli. Here, fight a little bit further. It's 31 of Theo Janček, chased by Mika Snellman. At the front, still Dorian Hankes and Marco Massoli. And here we go, down the hill. A small margin for Dorian Hankes. 0.2, 0.3, and now one great lap for Dorian Hankes, and that puts him 0.7 seconds in front, which is still a fine margin. But anyway, now in this environment it seems big already. 0.7 seconds here in this company seems very big gap in front. Hankes trying to pull away, the same time in the first sector, losing 0.2 in a second. So Marco Massoli again is half a second behind Dorian Hankes. Can he pull away in the last sector of the race? Here up on the hill, and the gap is smaller. Again 0.2 in this lap, Marco Massoli. Here they are going down through the last corners of the lap, and again it is 0.3. Went away till the 0.7 Dorian Hankes, and now Massoli is back within 0.3 behind the leader. Even smaller gap between Massoli and Pascal. Second away is leaving Gary Sook's. The top 3 drivers are going away, but everybody else still in one long train, starting with P4 and ending with P14. Antoine V is down the order, lost a few places in this lap. Julien Missler is up to P12, Arthur Piette to P11, Nino Brey now in P10, and Mika Snellman and Theo Janček up to 9th and 8th. That's 3 seconds penalty for Antoine Wies. Actually, he is still 6th on the track, but with 3 seconds penalty, he is not 6th, he is classified 13th. So close they are. Within 3 seconds are going drivers from P6 to P13. You push to pass, you get penalty. You get penalty, you are very, very down the order in the race. So 3 leading drivers with a great speed going through the laps, but still only few tenths of a second between them. The gap is increasing between Pascal and Sook's, between 3rd and 4th places. But a leading group of 3 drivers, Dorian Hankes, Marco Massoli and Julien Pascal, are pulling away. There is a crash and there is a fight further back. And here we are up on the bridge again with number 32 of Marco Massoli. Julien Pascal trying to go back into the 2nd place. He tried to fight for the win and now is down into the 3rd. Marco Massoli is in front. Here comes Gary Sook's, Marceau Guinea and Kyle Volkerts, 4th, 5th and 6th places. 4.5 minutes to go. Here, down from the bridge goes Marco Massoli in 2nd, 0.9. That's the biggest gap so far has had Dorian Hankes. 0.9, almost a second. Seems like eternity in this race. 1 second advantage of Dorian Hankes. Before he went away for 0.7, but then in 1 lap Marco Massoli came back to 0.3. How it will pan out in this race? In the 1st sector, 2 seconds faster is Marco Massoli. In 2nd sector, 2 more tenths of a second faster, so there is only half a second left between them starting the last part of the lap. Dorian Hankes still leading the race, but Marco Massoli is again back right behind him. As the gaps behind are increasing, the less positions is losing Antoine V because of his 3 seconds penalty. And now, even with this 3 seconds penalty, V is managing to stay in 2nd. Their gaps are increasing right behind him. Volkert, Janček, Julien Bianchi, Mika Snellman, Nino Brey, Julien Missler, Arthur Piette and Philippe Matea running in P14. But Hankes still leading the race in front of Marco Massoli and Julien Pascal. Here they are. Pascal already changing the lines to go inside of Massoli. They crash into the 2nd corner. Out of the 1st, then goes into the wall. Julien Pascal. Massoli goes away, maintaining his 2nd place, but so much has lost Julien Pascal fighting for 2nd in this race. So unsuccessful, so unlucky Julien Pascal with his fights for position on the track at the start. He tried to fight with Dorian Hankes, then lost out to Marco Massoli. Now he was trying to fight with Massoli and lost many positions here. Yellow flag on the track. Someone has stopped there, but Dorian Hankes still leading now. 2 minutes to go in this race. It's Marco Massoli still chasing Dorian Hankes, but now there is a bigger gap behind. Gary Sook's is up 3rd place. Marceau Guinea now is 4th. Antoine Wies even with the penalty now is up to P5. Then Julien Pascal is only 6th. Followed by Volkert, Theo Janček and Mika Snellman. And we have also penalty for Julien Missler. he also gets... No, he gets only warning. Penalty so far is only for Antoine V. But here are the leaders. Number 2 of Dorian Hankes and number 32 of Marco Massoli. Last minute, this or maybe one more lap in this race. Marco Massoli still chasing Dorian Hankes. At first it was Julien Pascal, who tried to fight with Hankes, then lost to Massoli. After that, Pascal tried to fight with Massoli. Now he is down to P6, and Massoli is left fighting with Dorian Hankes. Can he do something? Can he fight for the win in this race? The last minute has started. 14 already spent on the track. It's 32 of Marco Massoli chasing hard Dorian Hankes. It seems like we have one lap to go. They are coming to an end of the lap, and there is still half a minute left in this race. Through the last corner and onto the starting straight goes Dorian Hankes. 0.3 between him and Marco Massoli. Can Massoli take the win in this race? Here number 7 of Antoine V. Down in P6 after 3 seconds penalty, but in the front Dorian Hankes started from the P1, is still leading the race, but 0.3 of a second, that's the gap behind. Changing the line is Marco Massoli, still stays behind. Looking back, Dorian Hankes, where is Massoli? From which side will he appear in any corner? In front now, they are up on the bridge. 3 corners to go. Down in the final lap through the last 2 corners. A small clash between them, and still it is Dorian Hankes taking the win in this race. Marco Massoli still second. Gary Souk up to 3rd place after Julien Pascal crashed out in first corner. Marceau Guigny is 4th, Julien Pascal on the finish line in P5. Then Antoine V, even with a 3 seconds penalty, is classified 6th. Kyle Volkert 7th, behind him then Theo Janček in P8. Mika Snellman is 9th. Nino Bre completes top 10. Then is Arthur Piette, Julien Miesler, Philippe Mattea and Julien Bianchi. And the start, Dorian Hankes was leading and was leading through all those 15 minutes. There is Julien Pascal is driving second from the start. He gets second starting position, but as soon as he tried to fight with the leader, here is Kyle Volkert after a small crash, losing place. Antoine Wies probably for that crash got his 3 seconds penalty for leaving Kyle Volkert behind. But anyway, even with 3 seconds penalty, he is behind here. Fight between Julien Pascal and losing positions. Is Dorian Hankes. It's Marco Massoli behind him. Pascal came back to 3rd again. It's number 30 of Julien Bianchi. Here he was fighting for a position in top 10 and went down to P14 at the end of the race. Dorian Hankes was leading. Marco Massoli behind him. Julien Pascal tried to come back at the end of the race. Here he is still 3rd. There is a fight with Kyle Volkert further back and Theo Janček. And here changing the lines, the top 3 drivers. Julien Pascal was for many laps behind Marco Massoli in 3rd. There are Gary Souk and Marceau Guigny fighting for P4 behind them. And also Antoine Wies. Later he got those 3 seconds and was classified further down. It's number 7 of Antoine V. Here number 4 of Marceau Guigny going wide into the first corner. And crash between Kyle Volkert and Antoine Wies goes back in front here. This is number 24 of Julien Pascal. He is side by side with Marco Massoli. One more fight here. That's Theo Janček driving inside of Kyle Volkert, and crash fighting for the second place in the race. Julien Pascal spun in the first corner fighting with Marco Massoli, lost position to Gary Soux, lost position to Marceau Gugny, and came home in only P5. But that was Dorian Hankes taking the win in this race after 15 minutes of hard work holding off the offensive of Marco Massoli, or for the first lap from Julien Pascal. Now we have also 5 seconds penalty for Julien Pascal for illegal overtake attempt. There were yellow flags on the track, and also penalty for Nino Bray. Now he is down in the order to P13. We are here in Wavre for 2 final races of this day. Group B now in their carts, ready to go on the track. Those are the drivers classified from P15 till P28 after first 2 heats of racing today. That is Francisco Gelstein starting from pole position in this race in a kart number 8. David Maciero in 25, starting 4th. It's Thibaut Petronat with the go-kart number 18, Michael Willim with go-kart number 1, number 23 for Janne Pajonen, number 5 for Fabrizio Kallio. Adam Heng is in 12th, Albert Ingo in 11th, Gianni Arcieri in number 28, 26 for Andres Leipnieks, 20 for Martin Papan, Theodor Ivarsson in number 19, 17 for Edward Skesiks, and 22 for Michal Letovanec. The judges are still consulting about the penalties given in a previous race. There was a lot of overtaking moves, a lot of crashes, and now the judges are still doing their decisions after the C group final. But we have 2 fastest drivers of the both heats combined today. 2 groups of fastest drivers here in Saudi World Sprint E-Series, still fighting for the win in B final and fighting for the podium in Final A 15 minutes later. Now we are ready to go on the track. As soon as the pit line exit is open, we are ready to race. It's P14 on the grid for Edwards Keziks. 13 is Michal Letovanec. And they are getting out of their go-karts and going to the briefing room. There will be briefing for drivers. The stakes are high, the tension is big, and we are waiting for race to start, and drivers in the racing suits with the helmets on are going to the briefing room for the last instructions from the judges. We are waiting for the race to begin, but now the kartings are empty and drivers are going to listen what the stewards will say before the race.
Years ago now that we've been using the kart. It's been a journey of exploration and learning for the company. It's been really good. You know, the batteries are exactly the same battery as when we launched, which I think is really impressive when you think that we've had well over 2,000 charging cycles. Even with the powertrain, you know, it really means that there's no maintenance with this product, and I think this is really a credit to the guys at Rotax to develop such a robust car. And if you look at the performance, when you consider the weight that we carry at the moment, it is really impressive.
Why do you come here? Is this your career?
Or is it all about fun? A chance to get away and leave it all behind?
Or do you chase your personal best? Challenging yourself over and over again. Why do you come here?
Maybe you're here to collect moments. Good ones. And not so good ones.
Or you can't afford mistakes because you want that victory. It's all about this one moment when the hard work finally pays pays off.
This is the place that brings us closer to the people who share our story. Whoever we are,
Whatever we're here for, racing is who we are.
Drivers were called by the stewards to the briefing room just before the start of B final. Now they are back in the go-karts and ready to go racing. The tension is super high, the stress is big. We have two most important races left here today. The B finalists are now in the pit lane, and the 14 fastest drivers after two heats of this day are still waiting for their time to go on the track. But now we will see Edward Keziks and Michal Letovanec from P14 and P13. Andrej Leipnieks is 12th on the grid. Theodor Ivarsson is 11th. From P10 will go Gianni Arcieri. Adam Henk from P9. 8th on the grid is Martin Papan, and 7th Albert Ingo. P6 for Fabrizio Kallio. P5 for Janne Pajunen. From 4th starting Davide Masiero. Thibaut Petrona is 3rd. Second on the grid will be Michal Willim and Francisco Gelstein taking pole position in B final. After the qualifying, when Gelstein set absolutely identical lap time with Baptiste van der Beek, maybe his expectations were bigger than pole position in B final, but anyway, here are the drivers from P15 till P28 after classification of first two racing heats of this day. Here is Francisco Gelstein. The great progress during the day, very fast already in the morning in the qualification practice, then went second after the winner of our qualifying today, Axel Snellman. He was very, very fast during the qualifying, only one who went into 46 seconds during this lap. Absolutely fantastic lap time that was for Axel Sarniel. 46.8 in a qualification, 46.8 in a race, and it was Francisco Gelstein who, in a second heat, improved his lap time by more than half a second, just following Axel Sarniel. Anyway, that was not enough to get into the A final, but now that is a chance for Francisco Gelstein to fight at least for the win in B final. He is on pole position. He is going now on the track behind the safety car. We have a rolling start. We are now on the formation lap. Francisco Gelstein right after safety car, followed by Michal Willim, Thibaut Petrona and Davide Masiero. Fifth on the start is Janne Pajunen, starting sixth Fabrizio Kallio, then Albert Ingo and Martin Papan, Adam Henk and Gianni Arcieri completing top 10 on the grid now, and there is Theodor Ivarsson in P11, followed by Andrej Leipnieks, Michal Letovanec and Edward Keziks. The B group final is starting now. We are going through formation lap. Pole position for Francesco Gelstein. The speed which he went in the second heat, going right behind the leader, right in second place after the fastest man today. After Axel Sarniel, so much improved his speed. Francisco Gelstein, we will see how fast he will go during this final. there is no podium for other finals than A. So here only the winner gets the prize, only the first driver in the B final gets the prize. So now Francisco Gelstein is right after safety car coming through the last corners. There is a starting straight. Safety car dives into the pits. Green flag is there. It goes down and we start B final here in Wavre Indoor Karting. Francisco Gelstein is leading from the start. Everyone else following in a one long row of 14 cars on the track now. Now crashes going down from the bridge at the beginning of the lap. The number 20 has lost one position. It's Martin Papan now going one place down during this opening lap of the race. Still in front, Francisco Gelstein up on the bridge at the end of the first lap. There are three leading almost without any gaps between. Gelstein first, Williams second. As they start, Petrona in third, David Massiero in fourth, then Janne Pajunen and Fabrizio Kallio, Albert Ingo and Martin Papan, Adam Heng and Gianni Arcieri, followed by Theodor Ivarsson and Andres Leipniek. So during the first lap, everyone in their starting positions. No overtaking in the first lap. Trying to pull away is Francisco Gelstein. He went to 47.0 in a previous race in a second heat, and now in first lap he's trying to pull away half a second. That's how much he's got in a first lap. Now end of the second lap, number 8 on Francisco Gelstein's car. Here he is just half a second in front of Michal Willim. The fight is on. 15 minutes in this final race of the day. For the drivers classified from P15 till P28 from almost 100 pilots here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. Francisco Gelstein leading, trying to get away from number 1 of Michal Willim. Thibaut Benista is right behind in P3. David Massiero is fourth. Then Janne Pajunen, Fabrizio Kallio, Albert Ingo, Martin Papan, Adam Heng and Gianni Arcieri completing top 10 in this race. One more lap done, trying to increase the gap is Francisco Gelstein when there was in front Axel Sarniala. Gelstein went with 47.0. Now he is driving in front with 47.7. That's even 0.3 of a second slower than his best qualifying lap time. It's David Massiero further back, setting best lap time so far with 47.5. But now Francisco Gelstein improving in the middle sector of the track, trying to pull away. That's 1/10 of a second he has gained in the second sector in this lap. The third part of the track is 20 seconds. That's the longest part. Now on the bridge, and we see the gap by a very, very small margin, but increasing here for Gelstein. It's 0.5 of a second. 1/2 of a second in front is Francisco Gelstein. It's still not enough to be comfortable at the lead. Michal Willim is still too close. He still can fight for the win. Thibaut Petrona is only 0.3 of a second behind Michal Willim. 0.8 between first and third, 1.2 between first and fourth. Fourth now is driving David Massiero. Michal Letovan, it's one more great lap for him, but he is last in P14 now behind Edward Skeziks and Andres Leipnieks. Theodor Ivarsson driving 11th. Gianni Arcieri still in P10. 0.5 seconds in previous lap, 0.7 now is starting to pull away Francisco Gelstein. There still is less than second between him and Michal Willim, but now it seems like Willim is busy fighting with Thibaut Petrona to hold his second place and not chasing Francisco Gelstein for the win. Gelstein is pulling away a little bit faster in the first sector. There are 0.04 of a second gained, almost identical time in the middle part of the track. Already 0.7 is advantage of Francisco Gelstein. third of the race already done. Almost 5 minutes spent on the track, and here are Michael Willem and Thibaut Petrona fighting for second place, coming down the hill at the end of the lap. The fight for second place is on. There is also a David Masiero down in a fourth, trying to join them, setting new best lap time with 47.4. Francisco Gelstein 0.6 in front of Michael Willem. 1/10 has gained Michael Willem to Gelstein in this lap, but anyway, there is Thibaut Petrona really close behind Michael Willem. Here they are, number 25 of David Macero after Thibaut Petrona, number 18, and Michael Willem in number 1 in second place of this race. 0.6 between Willem and Gelstein in front. Petrona is really close behind Michael Willem. The fight for second is on 0.8 seconds, and Gelstein has got 0.3 of a second in this lap and is pulling away slowly, but is pulling away. Still, Michael Willem has the chance to catch the leader and fight for the win. Here is Willem with number 1, Thibaut Petrona with number 18, and here comes David Masiero with number 4. Now David Masiero in 4th place with number 25, chasing Thibaut Petrona and Michael Willem. Not far back is also Janne Pajunen in 5th and Fabrizio Kallio in 6th. We have top 11 drivers within 1 second after each other, and the biggest gap is 0.8 for Masiero and Pajunen. Clocking fastest laps of the race. There farther back is Michal Letovanec, but he is last. He is down in 14th position, 1.7 seconds between Edvards Keziks and Michal Letovanec setting fastest lap times, but anyway out of contention for top spots in this race. Gelstein pulling 0.7 seconds advantage over Michael Willem. Here is number 12 of Adam Heng, Theodor Ivarsson fighting with him for P9, followed by Gianni Arcieri. Then further back is Andres Leipniks, Edvards Keziks and Michal Letovanec. Here is the fight for second, Willem and Petrona. 0.7 was the advantage of Gelstein in previous lap. Now it goes to 0.8, still less than second. In front is Francisco Gelstein, going for 47.6, 47.7 for Willem and Petrona. Slower is David Masiero, and this gap is increasing a little bit during this lap. But Thibaut Petrona really close behind Michael Willem. There are only 0.3 of a second between them. They are fighting for second. Could Thibaut Petrona get in front of Michael Willem? Could he catch Francisco Gelstein and fight for the win? So far, without any overtakes, without moves, we are going through this race. We are over half mark of this race. Only 7 minutes left to the finish. Gelstein leading, still 0.7, few hundredths of a second faster. Lap goes actually 0.05 of a second faster in this lap is Michael Willem compared to Francisco Gelstein, but still 0.4 behind him is Thibaut Petrona. Here they are. Thibaut Petrona is putting pressure on Michael Willem. Michael Willem is making no mistakes on the track, going with fast lines, not trying to defend his position, trying to catch Francisco Gelstein, not to let drive away the leader of the race. Gelstein still under a second in front. Petrona is very close behind Willem. Here is a fight for a second. There is still a fight for the win in this race. 6 minutes to go. Gelstein leading by 0.6 seconds. So again, a few hundredths of a second faster in this lap is Michael Willem. Still, he has got Thibaut Petrona on his rear bumper. Here is pushing Petrona up on the bridge for the first time of this lap. Michael Willem second, Thibaut Petrona third, and there is also David Masiero. There are really no gaps between them, and also Janne Pajunen and Fabrizio Kallio behind are closing in, followed by Albert Ingo, Martin Papan, Adam Heng, Theodor Ivarsson and Gianni Arcieri. top 11 drivers within 1 second after each other. Now, after almost 10 minutes already spent on the track. Very, very similar pace for everyone. No one is able to pull away. Everyone is clocking the same lap times. There, further back is Michal Letovanec with the best lap time was 47.3, but he just got a free track in front of him and was able to set the fastest lap time now, as he has catch everyone else, starting with Keziks and Leipnieks. His lap times are the same as everyone else, from 47.4 till 47.8. That's the only difference between lap times of those drivers here in B final. Gelstein in front, 0.7. Down from the bridge comes Michal Vilim, followed by Thibaut Petronas. They are still fighting for second, 0.9. A few tenths gained for Francisco Gelstein. 4.5 minutes to go in this race. Vilim still chased by Thibaut Petronas, but now there is David Masiero and Janne Pajonen coming to fight in this company. Here is Masiero right behind Thibaut Petronas, and now it seems like Masiero is closer to Petronas than Petronas to Michal Vilim, and now Thibaut Petronas has to think about defending his position and not to fight with Michal Vilim. Too close behind is Masiero, Pajonen, and also coming Fabrizio Kallio. Last 4 minutes in this fight, in this B group final here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. Francisco Gelstein leading with 1 second in front of everyone. Michal Vilim is second, trying to run away from Thibaut Petronas. Petronas is chased by David Masiero. Then comes Janne Pajonen and here Fabrizio Kallio. This is number 18 of Thibaut Petronas, still driving third on the track. One second advantage for Francisco Gelstein. One more lap completed and one more tenth gained for Francisco Gelstein. He's leading with 1.1 now. Vilim is falling back about 1/10 of a second each lap. That's the biggest gap that has been so far between Francisco Gelstein and Michal Vilim. The Finn is flying at the front of this pack. 2.5 minutes remaining in this race. Francisco Gelstein is leading. He didn't got into the A final, but he is leading the final B. And there is a prize for victory in final B. The podium is only for final A, and there we will crown also a Saudi E-Sprint champion here in third year of electric karting in Saudi World Series. But now it's Gelstein leading by 1 second. Vilim getting a little bit faster lap time in previous lap, getting 1/10 of a second back, but still it's 1 second. David Masiero sets fastest lap time with 47.3, 47.4 for Gelstein, Vilim and Petronas in front of him. So even closer to Thibaut Petronas comes David Masiero. Fight for third, fight for second. Michal Vilim in number 1 is leading this train of go-karts. In the second place, Vilim. Third is Petronas. Pushing up the hill, Michal Vilim here going on the racing line and not trying to overtake Vilim. 1.5 minutes left in this race. Here is defensive Michal Vilim going into the second corner from the middle of the track, not leaving the door open. Thibaut Petronas is chasing him. There are only 0.2 of a second between them, bumper to bumper, without a gap between. They are going lap by lap and only 1 minute left. This and probably one more lap till the finish. Also, David Masiero has joined this party and now is fighting with Thibaut Petronas. Here they are. Then it's Janne Pajonen, Fabrizio Kallio and Ingo Albert fighting for P5, P6 and P7. Here, second place, Michal Willim, followed by Thibaut Petrona. Masiero again falling a little bit further back, half a second behind Thibaut Petrona. We have final lap. The time is over 15 minutes spent on the track, and Francisco Gelstein is leading by 1.3 seconds. That's the biggest gap we have seen in the whole race. 1.3 between leaders, and all top 10 drivers are within 1 second. It's Francisco Gelstein who gets away. The time is over. This is a final lap of this race. Up on the bridge for the last time goes Francisco Gelstein. Number 8 coming through the last corners and getting the win in this race. Gelstein is first. Michal Willim defends his second place from Thibaut Petrona. Petrona is third. David Masiero fourth. Then comes Janne Pajonen, Fabrizio Kallio, Ingo Albert in P7. 8th for Martin Papan. Adam Heng is 9th, and top 10 completed by Theodor Ivarsson. And from P2 to P10, not more than 1 second between all of those drivers. In P11, Gianni Arcieri, 12th is Andrei Sleipnieks, 13th Edvards Keziks, and in P14, Michal Letovanec. That's the official classification of Group P results. Drivers from P15 till P28 in the overall classification after 2 heats. A great and very, very intense race for Gelstein, for Willim, for Petrona, Masiero and Pajonen. Almost no gaps between all the cars for all 15 minutes. But Francisco Gelstein was 8th fastest in the morning qualifying. That left him in the pole position for B final, and unfortunately out of the final A, on the fastest final of this day. But anyway, here in B final, Gelstein did everything perfect, defended his position, pulled away in the last laps of the race, and with a 1.4 seconds in front, finished in first place. There were a few crashes further down the order. It's number 20 of Martin Papan, but anyway, Martin Papan started 8th and finished 8th, so nothing changed there. There was an intense battle, but without any overtaking moves. Everyone was so close right behind, so no one was able to take a risk and go off the racing line to try to overtake someone in front, risking losing too much positions right behind. The B final is over. Great win and the prize for Francisco and for the first place in B final. Now we are getting ready for Final E. The absolutely fastest drivers here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint will go on track very, very soon. That is a final. We have 98 drivers from 21 different countries here in Wavre Indoor Karting in Belgium, and we have one race to go. That is the most important race of the day. We are waiting for Final A.
Starting Payan protocol, improving carts. Charging batteries. Loading. Complete.
are ready to race again. The final race of 2 days here in Saudi World Series E-Sprint Finals. The best, the fastest drivers going out on the track. This is P14 on the start for Loic Martin. He's got go-kart number 13. In front of him is Enzo Gagnage with number 7 on his cart. It's a Karmo Kerb starting 12 in number 32. René Lutzenkirchen with number 30 starting 11th. P10 on the grid in the go-kart number 10 for Sasha Mabio. It's Clement Esposito starting 9th with number 3. Number 24 for William Kneppen, who will be 8 on the grid. Jan Flambard goes in number 9 to P7. P6 for Max Karhunen, and he's got number 31 for the final race. It's Alek Brodzko in number 2, starting 5th. Patrick Porta, number 4 and 4th on the grid. Baptiste van der Beek is starting 3rd. With number 29 on his car. It's Emrik Turnquist in front of Van der Beek, and in number 15 and pole position after winning qualifying, after winning both heats of today. There is Axel Sarniala in number 16. So Sarniala got pole position. He fought a few points back in overall ratings from Baptiste van der Beek. Van der Beek was first yesterday. He won the final. He got the most points, 157. Patrick Porta was second on the podium and points 145. Max Karhunen went to the third step of the podium but was tied on the points with Axel Sarniala, 136, 21 points short of Baptiste van der Beek. Now, today, Axel Sarniala has done everything perfect, getting the same amount of points that Baptiste van der Beek got yesterday, and it will be decided in this race who will win today and who will be the Saudi World Series E-Sprint champion in third row in this category. Electric karting is on for the main race of 2 days here in Wavre, Belgium. We are fighting for the win. We are fighting for the championship title here in Wavre. This is the third year of electric karting in Saudi World Series, and 14 fastest drivers from almost 100 that came here to Wavre, from more than 1,300 drivers classified in Saudi World Series are here. 14 best going through the last sector of the lap and starting last race of this day. We are on the starting line, and there is Axel Sarniala at the front. Green flag goes down and we start racing. Sarniala leading. Tornquist is second, followed by Van der Beek and Patrick Porta. Starting the 15-minute race. Fastest drivers, right one after another. Great start for Axel Sarniala. He is leading in front of Emrik Tornquist. Baptiste van der Beek still third. Here up on the hill, the first overtaking move did not succeed there. Axel Sarniala with absolutely fantastic lap time went through the qualifying. 46.8 seconds, that is the speed no one has seen here in the opposite direction of Wavre Indoor Karting. So Axel Sarniala was the fastest during the qualifying, was the fastest during the first race. Even there he matched his qualifying lap times, so showing that that was not an accident. He just is so fast on this track. Now Sarniala is leading Tornquist by 1.3 seconds already after first lap. This is number 15 of Tornquist, chased by Baptiste van der Beek in third. It is a very, very important fight for Baptiste van der Beek. Can he pull the win in 2 days of racing? Now he's running third. Axel Sarniala is first, but Axel Sarniala was not on the podium yesterday. He was out of top 3 at the end of the final. Now As long as Vanderbeek is third, he still has a chance to be in front of Axel Sarniel in 2 days of racing combined on all points scored together. That will determine the champion of Saudi World Series E-Sprint. Not the winner of yesterday, not the winner of this final, but the points scored in both days will determine who will be third world champion in electric karting in Saudi World Series. This is a Group A, 14 fastest drivers. 2 seconds advantage to Axel Sarniel. Emrik Törnqvist has left behind fighting with Baptiste Vanderbeek and Patrick Porta. Is Vanderbeek ready to take a risk and try to overtake Törnqvist? It seems like Axel Sarniel is still unbeaten and unbeatable on this track. Sarniel is pulling away lap by lap, clocking more than half a second faster lap times than Emrik Törnqvist. It's almost 3 seconds already after first 3 laps, and spun there Clement Esposito. The race for leading positions is over for Esposito. Now he is down into last position, 14th. From P9 to 14 goes Clement Esposito after this mistake. Sarniel is still leading by 3 seconds gap behind. Emrik Törnqvist still in front of Vanderbeek, Porta, Mrotsko, Karkonen, Flambard and Kneppen. Sasha Mabio moves up to P9 and Clement Esposito is down in last position in this race. That's Emrik Törnqvist in number 15. We see there Vanderbeek, Porta, Mrotsko, Karkonen, Flambard and Kneppen. 7 drivers fighting with Emrik Törnqvist now. Sarniel is far away in front already, 4 seconds after 4 laps. Almost a second per lap is the speed of Axel Sarniel compared to Törnqvist and everyone else. Here is Törnqvist and Baptiste Vanderbeek fighting for second. So far in a third place, Baptiste Vanderbeek should have enough points to be a champion in both days combined, but is that enough for sure, or has he to get in front of Törnqvist anyway? He would love to get in front of Törnqvist and try to catch Axel Sarniel, but he cannot afford to take any risks and lose any positions. If Baptiste Vanderbeek is out of podium in this race, then Axel Sarniel can get in front of him on both days scored together. Now Sarniel is almost 5 seconds in front. There is almost 1 second per lap. Sarniel is just flying away. No one has seen him since the first lap of this race. Now he's far, far away. We have not seen such a big gap between leading drivers as Axel Sarniel is going now. In the second heat, there still was Francisco Gelstein who was able to clock the same lap times as Axel Sarniel, but he won the final B as he was classified in P15 after both heats. But now in A final there is no one who can match Axel Sarniel's speed, and the Finn is just flying away. 5.5. Is there someone to tell Axel Sarniel there is no need to hurry anymore? There are 9 minutes left to race. He has 6 seconds advantage, even more than 6 seconds. There is no one behind him. Axel Sarniel is just unbelievably fast today. This is his direction of this track. Now he is flying. Yesterday Sarniel was third fastest in the qualifying, but was outside podium in the final. Now he is leading, and by just unbelievable margin leading in the front of this race. Axel Sarniel is leading by 6.2, is increasing now his gap even more, and Emrik Törnqvist still fighting with Vanderbeek, Porta, Mrotsko, Karkonen, Flambard and Kneppen. We just saw through the last corner going Törnqvist and Vanderberg, and Sarniala has already started next lap through the third corner of the lap, 47.1. That's still 0.3 of a second slower than Sarniala's absolutely best laps in qualifying and first heat, but now he has no need to improve lap times, no need to hurry. There goes Sarniala in 16, and here comes Törnqvist in number 15, second place driver, chased by Vanderbeek, Porta, Mrotko, Karhonen, Flambard and Kneppen. From P2 till P8 there are no bigger gaps than 0.3 seconds. Long train of cars, starting with Emrik Törnqvist and Baptiste Vanderbeek and ending now with Enzo Geniage and Loic Martin in P13. Everyone in less than 1 second behind. Baptiste Vanderbeek driving patiently behind Emrik Törnqvist. How long can wait Vanderbeek? Will he try to overtake Törnqvist? There is Patrick Porta too close to Vanderbeek. He can expect an overtaking move any time in any corner. Patrick Porta has not so much to lose as Baptiste Vanderbeek. Baptiste Vanderbeek, there any point is important for Vanderbeek in this race to get the championship title in both days together, but staying behind Emrik Törnqvist, Baptiste Vanderbeek now is under threat of Patrick Porta. Porta is close, he is fast, he set the same lap time in the qualifying and now is chasing Baptiste Vanderbeek. It seems like Törnqvist is getting ground here and pulling away. It's less than meter now, but anyway, it seems bigger than before. It's 8 seconds for Axel Sarniala. Can he catch someone for one whole lap? It's 6 minutes to go and already there is 8 seconds between first and last. Sarniala is still flying, getting 47.006, going to 0.8 of a second to his best lap times here in Wavre. Sarniala is leading, no one has seen him from the start. At the first lap he got more than 1 second advantage and then we're clocking 1 second faster every lap after lap. It seems like Emrik Törnqvist is pulling away. It's still a very small gap between him and Vanderbeek, but now it seems like Vanderbeek is busy defending from Patrick Porta. Now he is back at the end of Emrik Törnqvist. Second, third and fourth place drivers, but here is number 16 of Axel Sarniala. He is already on the bridge and now everyone else is passing under him. 10 seconds later, here they are now going up to the bridge, starting with Törnqvist and Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek is again right on the rear bumper of Törnqvist, getting a little bit away from Patrick Porta. Vanderbeek maybe could have been happy finishing third and getting podium and getting in a points score ahead of Axel Sarniala, but there is Patrick Porta. If there could be a bigger gap behind Baptiste Vanderbeek, maybe he could drive just safely to the finish in third, but now Patrick Porta is too close. There is Alex Mrotko, Max Karhonen, and as soon as someone starts to fight for the position, here the result is absolutely unpredictable. Who will try to overtake? Who will take a risk? Who is ready to take a risk and lose any positions? Vanderbeek now is running third. In this position it should be enough to get a championship title. Törnqvist is in front. Törnqvist also was in top 10 after yesterday's racing, but Törnqvist was further down in only 10th position, so he is not a match for Baptiste Vanderbeek fighting for the title. But anyway, Axel Sarniala is proving everything now. He is fastest, 11 seconds between Sarniala and Torquist, and then everyone else within 1 second. Only Esposito, after spinning in this corner, is further down, losing 6 seconds to Loic Martin, but everybody else from 2nd till 13th. This is the long train on the track, led by Emrik Tornquist in 2nd place in this race. 3 minutes to go and already 12 seconds advantage of Axel Sarniala. He is so far away. We have not seen such a big gap between drivers here in Wavre in finals of E-Sprint in Saudi World Series. No one has been able to pull such a big gap as Sarniala now. 12 seconds after 15 laps. Sarniala is leading. 2.5 minutes to go. Tornquist in front of Van der Beek. Porta still chasing Van der Beek. Here they come. A long train of cars, starting with 2nd and finishing with 10th. There is René Lutzenkirchen. In front of Lutzenkirchen is Sacha Mabiot, then William Kneppen in 8th, Jan Flambard in P7, Max Karhunen is 6th, Alex Mrochko 5th, Patrick Porta 4th, Baptist Van der Beek in 3rd, and Emrik Tornquist leading the pack in 2nd place, but Axel Sarniala is so far away. 13 seconds and we have 2 minutes to go. Here is Emrik Tornquist fighting for 2nd step on the podium, and Patrick Porta is again dangerously close to Baptist Van der Beek. Is the fight for the 3rd place on? Can do Patrick Porta anything? He can take away the championship title from Baptist Van der Beek if the overtaking move is wrong. Now Van der Beek is running 3rd. He is losing a little bit to Emrik Tornquist. At the end of the Tornquist is pulling away. There are only a few centimeters, but anyway, we can see that gap so close. They are going, and almost 14 seconds in front of everyone goes Axel Sarniala, like in different class, like in different category, like in different universe. Now is driving Axel Sarniala. 46.9 seconds, still setting the best lap times. Behind him, all the fight is on during the last minute of this race, but Axel Sarniala sets one more best lap time with 46.9 and now is 14 seconds in front of everyone. Last minute, last seconds of this race. Half a minute to go. Emrik Tornquist through the first corner in front of Baptist Van der Beek. They are fighting for 2nd because no one can fight for 1st in this race. So fast is Axel Sarniala. The time is running out. We have last 10 seconds left on the track. Axel Sarniala closing on the final lap. There is a checkered flag. There is Axel Sarniala taking the most impressive win in those 2 days of racing. 14 seconds. We have not seen such a big gap today. Almost 15. Emrik Tornquist takes 2nd and will be on the podium today, but it is enough for Baptist Van der Beek. 3rd place in this final is enough for Baptist Van der Beek to take a championship title in 3rd year of electric karting in Saudi World Series E-Sprint. Unimaginable. Almost 15 seconds for Axel Sarniala. This opposite direction of this track is the right one for Flying Finn here. Axel Sarniala takes the win. Emrik Tornquist is 2nd. Baptist Van der Beek is on the podium, and that should be enough to take the title for Baptist Van der Beek. Porta is 4th, Mrotzko 5th, Max Karhunen P6, followed by Jan Flambard in 7th, William Kneppen 8th, Sacha Mabiot 9th, René Lutzenkirchen is in top 10, Then comes Karmo Kerb going through the ranks to the A final and finishing in P11. Enzo Gagnage is 12th, then Loic Martin and Clement Esposito. Just unbelievable speed for Axel Sarniala. Number 16 on his car now taking the win with absolutely crushing everybody else in this race, almost 15 seconds in front of everyone. Unbelievable speed of Axel Sarniala. Emmerich Törnqvist will be on the podium, but number 29, that is Baptiste Vanderbeek. He is the champion. Great race here in A final. 14 fastest drivers after 98 who arrived here after 1300 who classified in a Saudi World Series electric go-kart system. We have 98 fastest here and 14 fastest fighting in A final, and just unbelievable speed from Axel Sarniala giving win in the second day of racing here, but missing the podium in the first day of racing is what puts Axel Sarniala out of title today with both days combined. Emmerich Törnqvist defended his second place. Baptiste Vanderbeek was happy with third, thinking about the main goal, about the championship title this year. Last year it was one mistake for Vanderbeek and he lost a chance to fight for the title. He could not afford to make any mistakes this year, and he did everything perfect. Just third on the grid and third on the grid and third on the finish line was enough for Baptiste Vanderbeek. But Sarniala will be on the top step of the podium. He was pulling away, and even if he does not get the title, he proved everything. He was just unbelievably fast in the last race, in a final day of racing. 15 seconds in front of everyone else. We have not seen such a big advantage, such a big difference in speed between anyone else. Axel Sarniala takes just the win with the biggest margin we have seen through those 2 days of racing. Anyway, Sarniala will be on the top step of the podium. Emmerich Törnqvist will be second, and Baptiste Vanderbeek will come to the today's podium in third place and should have enough points to be the champion in third year of Saudi World Sprint Electric Series. 2 days of fantastic racing here in Wavre, Belgium. This is a third year for Saudi World Series Electric Sprint Finals. Now we are getting ready for podium ceremony. After a few minutes there will be a podium, but anyway, thank you very much to anyone being here on the track and being at your screen watching those great races here in Wavre. See you soon and thank you for watching.